Now, this is Wayne Huizenga's house. He died a year or two ago in Florida, about a year and a half ago. I happen to know him. But his claim to fame was he was the collection man for the Cleveland mob. That's where he started. And his claim to fame was he went to one of the union bosses and it owed money, and he didn't pay, so he hit him in the head with a big wrench. Hit him in the head, and 500-600 people knocked him to the ground, then took a pair of big pliers and grabbed him by the balls and drug him across the car parking lot by the balls. Blood squirting shit. And he says, are you going to pay? People volleying, we'll pay for him. Just leave him alone. That's how he got started. But when he died, in his obituary, you thought he was Jesus Christ. I mean, this is the same Wayne I know. I mean, what happened here? They must have forgot part of his life. But the day after his team won the World Series, he put him up for sale, if you recall. No better time. They're never going to be worth more. He started Blockbuster and Boston Chicken, and he's smart guy. Huizenga, I believe, is a Dutch name. I'm not positive. Is it Huizenga? No, not Dutch. I thought he was Dutch anyway. But now he's Jesus Christ. Of course. Now, I only found out about 10 years ago, obituaries, you pay for the obituaries. I thought that good people, said good shit about you. You got a script writer, and you pay $50,000 or $40,000, depending on how big the obituary is. These are his guest houses. These two little houses down the bottom. That's his main house up above. And of course, this is the estate from when I used to have a helicopter a long time ago. Yep. Another shot. One's religion is whatever he is most interested in. This is Sir James Barrie, who invented Peter Pan. Neighbor, not a current neighbor, but where he was born is not too far from here. And Andrew Carnegie comes from right down the road. And depending on what story you want to believe, either when he was 7, 9, 11, he either stowed away on the bottom of a ship, or his parents took him on a ship to America. No education, and he founded what is now known as the modern steel industry. And I'm copying the Andrew Carnegie model. I give him credit as opposed to the gurus who steal this shit from each other. He didn't believe in equity dilution. He was a cheap, meaning cheap Scotsman. He liked Depp. And that's all this is. So he was doing it in 1880, 1860, 1890, 1900. So this is just the Andrew Carnegie debt model. So it's been around a long, long time. And again, it's not sold to the public because it doesn't create any fees. I mean, it creates fees, but I mean minimal fees. Oh, this is me. I mean, you guys know more about me than I do. I mean, Success, Investors Business Daily. We know that. I'm the guy. Just don't quit. Okay. Who's my 6:30? Okay. We have dinner tonight, fish and chips. We're going to see several more webinars. 2 more, I believe, with Josh, right? I almost didn't have Josh do these deals because he's just mimicking what the templates say. But what the hell, he's here. And of course, now I realize how, I mean, you guys eat this shit, eat it up. Partially because he was here physically sitting right there a couple seminars ago, and because, even though he thinks he's an old man now, life's passed him by at 21. I mean, his whole life's gone. It's done. He's through. He's through.
Yep.
Okay, but the fact that he started when he was 17, and of course now we got kids 15. And of course, then we got you old gits that are here. Some of you are actually 25, 30, 35, 45. I mean, some in their 50s. I mean, fuck. I mean, you should have committed suicide 30 years ago, okay? Metaphorically speaking, just to keep the lawyers happy. And we're going to continue to do webinars, role play, answer questions. Are you raising your hand for a question, or is this the South shall rise again, or no? Okay. Huh? Yeah. Yes, sir.
We write our affirmations.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, that's tomorrow. We're going to do affirmations. We're going to do goal setting tomorrow. Affirmations, and as Roberto said, one of the main things, and he had good habits. Not all good habits, but he had a lot of good habits. Is that he to think bigger and with more clarity. As you saw, Josh's goal was to buy that part of the Hawaiian island and build that Star Wars kind of house, or Marvel superstar kind of house, before it came here. Okay, so he, but as he's going to say in one or both of the webinars we're going to have with him, is that I gave him the tools, how to do it. I tease him, he knew how to start a fire from scratch as an Eagle Scout, and now he knows how to take money out of banks legally, and he's refined the SBA process. And for those of you in America, again, you should look at seriously the SBA program, because it's just, I mean, there are similar things in other parts of the world, but none of them are quite as good as the Small Business Administration. And when President Trump, if he follows through and he takes it from 7 to 10 million, I mean, that's pretty phenomenal. And we've had in this room, we've got some people that have used SBA. In other seminars, we've had people that have used SBA. But it's a pretty unheard of, or unused, not unheard of, tool that's there. And then again, how serious, if you're an American and you haven't discovered SBA? In my judgment, not too serious. I used to ask when I gave regular seminars, and I haven't given a seminar outside the castle this century. Okay, I've given talks, but not seminars. I used to say, how many have pitched a bank for money in the last 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week? How many today? Okay, and when you get 90 days, maybe 60, couple, 30 days, normally maybe one out of an audience of 500 or 600 will have talked to a bank that week, and virtually none of them that day, because they spent the day coming to the seminar. But I mean, it's a full-time process, getting money and finding deals where debt service is covered by free cash flow. And if you have a banking relationship and they make you keep 50, 100, or 500 grand in the bank with no covenant, you keep the money there, okay? That's not free cash flow. Free cash flow is you can burn it in the fucking fireplace. I'm not suggesting that when I say something about women and retards and Muslims, no, you don't go burn the money in the fireplace. That's not what I'm suggesting. But unless you can burn it in the fireplace, it's not free cash flow. And that's what, and that's how we value the companies, and that's the basis upon which we buy the companies. There's no other basis. You fail if you need private equity. Any questions about Josh or the role plays? Any questions about anything? Yes, sir.
So after the seminar,
I'm never going to talk to you again, but go ahead. Yeah.
So after Josh's first seminar when he came here, did he not have a lot of questions? Did he just go home and just hit it ground running?
He started working on that $170 or $1 million deal I told you about. And for various reasons, it didn't work out. But he spent 6-7 months on that.
We also had a 60-hour-a-week job.
And he also had, he got a 60-hour-a-week job. So we have plenty of people that have full-time jobs, or they're full-time students, or they're in the military that are doing this, and they're doing this. Obviously, you can get it done quicker if you don't have those kind of responsibilities. But I know some of you have families. I'm not saying you should have those families, but you have them, okay? And some of you have additional responsibilities, and some of you are going to school. I've already given you my definition of who should stay in school and who shouldn't stay in school. But you got to eat. You got to put food on your table, either for you and or your extended family. Not extended, but I mean your immediate family. So I understand that. But we still have guys. Josh had a full-time job. He's not the only one that has a full-time job. Other people have had full-time jobs, and when you see how much free time you really have in a week, in a month, it's not hard to support your family with your job and do this at the same time. It's all about time management. I was telling you about time management. The thing that most of you lack in is time management. I use the reporting system I use as a reporting system I used as a young officer with NATO 50 years ago. It's the same. In fact, when you see it, you're going to see that you can Google it. It's still on. It's about 70% the same. The same one I used is on nato.org. Reporting, and it's there. And it's basically what are you going to do? What are your goals for the day? What did you accomplish yesterday? And challenges. Now, I used to say problems. Now it says challenges. What are your problems? Okay? And then we've added a fourth section, which is, now it's much more detailed than that, but that's roughly the report. And then the fourth thing is, what am I not telling Dan? Or what did I not mention in those first three things? But if you say for the goals for the day, say for the week, goals for the week, and then the following week you didn't, when you say what you accomplished, if what you accomplished doesn't relate back to the goals you had set for the week, then there's a disconnect. Well, if you said you were going to do this on Monday, and then on the next week you didn't do it, didn't you do it on Monday, you didn't do it the whole fucking week. Who's jerking who around? Okay, and then you do, you're going to accomplish these 7 things for the week, and so maybe you only accomplish 5. But when you go down to the week for accomplishments, you didn't accomplish any of them, of the 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. Well then, there's a disconnect. And the disconnect relates back to your time management. And, challenges come up. Speed bumps, I call speed bumps. You broke your leg, you did this, you did that. The bank came and took your Range Rover away, or whatever. Now, to me, those aren't speed bumps, When I showed up for my meeting with Klaus Kleinfeld in a wheelchair with a drip, I was almost dead 3 days before. That's commitment, and that's the commitment story I told to the Navy SEALs. That's the same commitment story I'm going to tell to the Naval Academy. That's commitment, And in today's day and age, people have different definitions of commitment. And question?
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
What company do you recommend we learn sales from?
Okay, the Wolf of Wall Street guys stuff's pretty good. I've never used it, but some of you kids have. He's pretty good. Grant's sales stuff is pretty good. The Dan Loke's sales stuff, except just double the number. High ticket is millions, not tens of thousands. But the Dale Carnegie's sales course, which is a 3-day course, it costs about $2,000 now, is pretty good. And that's the one course that I took and Warren Buffett took. So Warren and I, that's the only thing Warren and I have in common. We both took the Dale Carnegie sales course. And because as legend and has it that he couldn't give away sex in a lumber camp when he started. He wasn't a very good salesperson. I'm not saying he's a great salesperson now. But I took it when I was already a good salesperson, but I wanted to see, not because Warren took it, because I didn't even know he took it the last 10 or 15 years, but I wanted to see what they were teaching. and it's pretty good. But it's sales 101. But for those of you that have successfully sold, and you understand sales funnels, etc., as more than one of the guys has described, but it's about now they have time management systems. And now with a computer, it should be easier because it's easier to follow up. I still use yellow pad, and I use 3x5 cards or 5x7 cards, and that's what I use. I have a number of them. I use sticky the sticky things, sticky tabs or whatever you call them, on the computer and on the lamp on my desk to remind me of things. And I know there's modern systems. You can put them in your phone, etc. I don't use any of those. I don't use any of those. And I know now you can even put them on your watch. I don't use any of that. I'm old-fashioned. I do use a computer, but as EJ and Kat will tell you, if something goes wrong or the screen goes gray, blue, Kat, why did it go blue? And or it freezes, or I yell Sally. But I first time I got online was April Fool's Day, 2001. And I remember calling my daughter, "What's a mouse?" I'm trying to put the computer together myself. And I was AOL in those days. And I didn't know AOL was for retards, And I called Sally. She was in New York or something on business. What do I do? Well, ask Kelly. Well, wait, Daddy, I'll do it when I get home. She was in school then, And and then I got a computer where the mouse was a little button. That was. And I like the one that you can move around like this. And I don't like when you have to do like this. I like a thing that I can move. But a lot of people my age don't know as much as I do because they've just it's passed them by.
You're a PC or a Mac guy?
PC. I don't know from Mac. I know a couple of you have Macs in the room. I don't. And I'm not doing graphics or none of that shit. And the most I can do is put a smiley face. That's about the limit. I can do a smiley face. That's the extent. But if you see graphics from me or pictures attached, these two guys did it, Kat and EJ, which are my computer brains. Isn't that right, Kat? Yeah, she shakes her head, yes. Okay, anything else? Okay, guys, we'll see you at dinner. I'll see you my 6 at 6. And the only homework you have tonight is no homework other than the movies tonight. I didn't hand anything out?
Nope.
Okay, that's right. I just wanted to make sure.